Hey, this is draffet in the draffet store, and this week, since I did the last 2 weeks on diet, fitness, and working out, I'm actually going to cover stretching, uh, which is part of physical fitness. Now, I've been reading a lot of stuff lately about how different stretches don't benefit as much as previously thought. Now, for those of you who are young, 20 or 25 or younger, you probably didn't grow up a whole lot with doing static stretches. Now, static stretches are like bending over, touching your toes, butterflies, hurdle stretches. Okay, more or less they're the stretches that you do that you are in a position and you stay in that position for a length of time, where it's 10 seconds to a minute to stretch out your body parts. Now, dynamic stretching is pretty much different. You're actually more or less moving your body in a position and moving the other part of the body in the other way. Now, let me get this better for definition. Okay, yoga more or less is to get it better. Yoga is more or less both a body weight exercise and a dynamic stretch. All right, that's the best way I can do it or put it. And according to, like I said, according to a lot of people, you want to do less of the static stretching and more of the dynamic stretching. I mean, like, there's always some kind of study on everything. Growing up, I heard that sit-ups are bad for you, so you do crunches. They'll be better for your back. And then recently you find out, oh no, the last 15 years, oh no, crunches are bad for your back, just about as bad for your back as sit-ups are. And now, I actually read an article a couple days ago that said that sit-ups are actually not as bad as they previously thought, as long as you don't capture your feet. What I mean by that is you tuck your feet up underneath an object to hold your position to go back and forth. So more or less you just leave your feet firmly placed on the floor and then do it back and forth. Now, I am currently on my other computer checking up what I was talking about. There, dynamic stretching. Okay, now according to Wikipedia, this is what dynamic stretching is: a form of stretching beneficial in sports utilizing momentum from form, static activity stretching strength, and momentum from static activity stretching strength, in an effort to propel the muscle in an extended range of motion not exceeding one's static positive stretchability. Anything beyond this range of motion becomes ballistic stretching. It's a type of stretching while moving. Okay, like I said, pretty much yoga. You hold it and you go up, and boom, boom, boom. It's beneficial. Okay, plain and simple, it's beneficial to you. Because as you get older, and trust me, as a kid, I was limber. I can never do, I'll be honest, never was able to do the Van Damme with the splits. I can only go so far. But now, where I'm at my age, I'm finding certain motions are a little harder to do, especially with my legs. Like, I can't sit, well, between an injury and age, I'm having a hard time to sit and do in lotus position, or as some of the older people know, an Indian position, or even doing butterflies. It hurts my hips, and it's because I haven't stretched out a whole lot. Now, okay. Now, to better get back into it, for like a dynamic stretch, a good example would be if you're into the martial arts, it'd be the front stretch kick. Let's see if I can't. More or less, that is just like that. That's pretty much a dynamic stretch, where you're going through the whole motion of the thing. But like I said, as you get older, it gets to be and any comments about I'm actually in the process of working out while I'm doing this video, so it gets a little warm, so I had to take my shirt off. You need it, okay? Stretching, like I said, with me, I mean, if I had the money, I would take yoga classes. I mean, I've actually done yoga before by video, and it's not one of those easy things. Not making sure that I'm in the right position for a particular pose, but you're getting the stretch. Okay, like I said, it's both a body weight workout and a stretch. So you're stretching your body out. It also helps out. I mean, sometimes if you're like I did a lot. I do work that involves a lot of lifting. One wrong move, and can hurt yourself. Now, that said, that doesn't always necessarily mean that I've used stretching before workouts, before runs, all the time. Sometimes I've just gone right into the run, or like tonight, right into the workout. Other times, I've done different stretches. Like I said, hurdle stretches. Just bend over. Once in a while throughout the day, I'll bend over, touch my toes, and hold it for a while. Or if my back's really bothering me real bad, I'll roll up my yoga mat and do back bridges to stretch out my back. Or use the inversion table just to hang upside down so my body will stretch itself out. But it's necessity the older you get, because your muscles aren't as limber, as kids, teens, and whatever. Now, funny joke here. I have a well, she'll be 9 years old this year, and she's always been really, really flexible. Unfortunately, I doubt her parents will ever get her into gymnastics or cheerleading, because I mean she is really flexible for it. But I've got a niece that I sit down and watch. Used to sit down and watch occasionally, and she'd sit there and just be randomly me being unlimber as I am now, because I don't do enough stretches to stretch out my hips and everything else. I actually get jealous because my 9-year-old niece sits here like this with her hand and just sits there and chews on her toenails. Okay, a lot of times kids are supposed to be, as the older they get, the body starts limbering or tightening up, but she's been like that since like 4 years old, and it's like, wow, I wish I was that stretchable. But you know, I mean, I can show people all sorts of, you know, different ones. You know, you got this to relax your shoulders. You know, back here. You know, stretches out this part. I mean, all right, where you put it here, pull, or you actually grab right here, like I am, and pull this way. Or you got wrist stretches. Okay. Now some of these I learned from my jiu-jitsu classes about 20 years ago, and like I said, when I do the martial arts, I explain them. You know, stuff like this. You know, if your hands from working out on the computer isn't bother you, you know, just loosen up your wrist. Now, this is actually a stretch I learned to relax your wrist from jiu-jitsu, because with the wrist locks and everything, you bring it down, you hold it, and this is actually a wrist lock position. You know, like this, or like that. And then it'll stretch out in here. And you notice I'm not doing static stretching with them. You know, I get in, move, stretch, back, move, stretch. I mean, shoulder shrugs to loosen up your shoulders, or just pretty much bring your arms back and go like this. And you will actually feel the tension, because for me, when I do get tense, it's mostly up in my shoulders and slightly in my hips. But you know, go like this, you'll feel the tension throughout here. I mean, I can go into, you know, stretching. I mean, there's, you know, all sorts of, you know, I mean, just type stretching and you can find different, you know, stretches to work. But for fitness, it's an important thing, because I mean, if you're into sports like you know, a lot of people have bowling leagues or softball leagues. You know, they're not into you know, amateur football or whatever. You know, you still need to be limber enough to play the sport. Like me, I can't. 10 years ago, I could have probably hit a baseball bat with no problem and do the swing without, you know, hurting. Today, with the way with everything, because I don't stretch enough, I probably throw my back out. But next week, actually, I'm gonna do just recap, and I've actually had to sit down and look at certain ones, like the sugar and the sweeteners ones, and actually have to add a little bit to it. So not every one am I going to do that with. Well, like I said, I'll go through. I'll make a list and do recap, and you know, for certain things, explain a little bit better. So this is Draffet, and it's Draffet Store. Have fun.